China does have a problem within, and boosting domestic demand and consumption needs to be prioritized. Now, China is starting to look within in order to boost their own economy. A world leader when it comes to manufacturing and exports, China understands that in order to achieve their own growth targets, they have to start focusing on their people, and they have some plans and some stimulus ideas in order to do just that. So let's deep dive into it. Now, before we get started, let me just say that if you like content like this, leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this and hit that thumbs up button for me. Some economists have recently called China a one-trick pony, a country that's good at manufacturing and producing goods, but has a hard time getting other parts of its economy going. Now, I personally think that that's a little bit of an overstatement. It's not that drastic, but China does have a problem within, and boosting domestic demand and consumption needs to be prioritized. Now, the country does know that this is an issue. It's been an issue for a while, and they are now coming up with different plans in order to do just that. Now, some of the things that they're thinking of doing include improving welfare for elderly and children, having a solid social security net. Now, not too much specifics were brought up, but trading in old cars for new ones, home remodeling with tax incentives and new home appliances with improved efficiency, and reduced use of fossil fuel were some of the things that were brought up. So basically what China wants, it wants its consumer, the people that live within the cities and within the country, in order to remodel their homes, to buy new cars, to buy better things that are more energy efficient, and ultimately, it leads better things for the country and more spending and better things for business. And in all honesty, these are all good goals and good targets, but I think that saying it sounds good, but achieving it is a whole nother thing. Now, I think when you talk about different tax incentives and things, to kind of throw at the people to incentivize them to do so is a good thing, but it's going to be hard to do. Now, remodeling homes is always a nice thing because it's going to boost the value of the home, where the person lives. They feel better about it, better state of mind for the person, but it's going to take time to do this on such a large scale, a country with over 1 billion people, to try to get a whole consumer mindset to kind of change and do things that the consumer hasn't been doing. Now, I don't think that it's impossible, but again, starting off by incentivizing people through certain tax breaks, certain subsidies in order to do it. And again, China did not get specific, but if they want to achieve it, yes, that is the route that they are going to have to go in order to kind of push the people in that direction. And over the last couple of decades, China has more so focused on their private sector, and they focus more on businesses, stimulating and helping them out. Big infrastructure, big construction companies, their banking system, they've thrown a lot of their resources there, and it's sort of led to a bit of an imbalance within the country. And now they understand that, hey, we need to get consumption and our consumer demand to kind of increase and grow within. And they're trying to rebalance, basically, is what China is trying to do. So a lot of the focus or a lot of the money, everything that was kind of spent in that private sector, obviously still you want them to thrive and do good, but taking some of those assets and some of those things that you might have allocated towards that and kind of incentivizing the consumer, or trying to make your people a better consumer, is sort of the direction that they are headed. Now, I think, again, it sounds good, but executing it is just going to be tough. And especially when it's just words saying, we're going to focus on our consumers and we want them to buy things and we're going to incentivize them to buy things. what is the actual plan? What is the details involved in this? When you say tax credit, what is the tax credit? Like, for example, in the US, there's a tax credit if you buy electric cars, the Teslas, you get a certain amount as a tax. It incentivizes people. I'm sure China will come out with similar things, but those things just have not come out, at least publicly. While I do think privately or behind the scenes, they are working on all of those incentives. But yes, boosting consumer consumption, because if you can get and it won't be the whole 1.4 billion people, because you still have people on the countryside, and you need to find a way to keep them out of poverty, and it takes a lot of government help and a lot of government stimulus to do that, which is important to do that. But a lot of your consumer spending is going to come within the city, buying things like electronics, clothes, luxury goods. We talked about remodeling things and cars, and for them to do all of that stuff, yeah, you got to help those people out. Good income levels and access to nice lines of credit, all of those things are going to be important. And China did just recently surprisingly cut some interest rates. That now, a lot of that was because big loans were due from that private sector, to help them rework loans and keep things afloat. But also for the consumer, yeah, lower those rates to where it's more attractive for consumers to start to take out different loans. And private sector jobs and different, you want people to be making a lot of money so they could spend a lot of money, kind of keep the cycle going. But China understands that while manufacturing and exports are doing good, they want to be a leader when it comes to technology and advanced artificial intelligence. And they want to put a lot of money into their military and those type of activities. But understanding that having that huge consumer base, tapping into that consumer base, they want to make it a priority for the health and the overall growth of the country. If you like content like this, leave a comment down below letting me know what you think. Make sure you subscribe for more content like this and hit that thumbs up button for me.